Hello, everyone. We live in a world today where everybody believes that being a female first child goes with a lot of responsibility. And they try as much as they can to put that tag on a female first child. That the moment you are born a lady and you are a first child, you automatically carry the responsibility of your siblings and your parents. Well, in some cases, it's actually not so because it is not every female first child that does that. But the question comes up again, what about the male? How does it feel to be a male first child? Does the male first child carry responsibility? Is there any first child syndrome that goes on with the first child, a male? Well, this is Real Talk with Pastor Jackie Talena. My name is PJT, and I love that name. Today, I have a wonderful guest in the house who's going to introduce himself and tell us more about what we need to know about being a male child and a firstborn. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Please, can you introduce yourself to my
Okay,
audience?
my name is ACHONU Love. I'm a lawyer, property lawyer, and also the founder of Love Panel International, and I'm glad to be here.
Wow.
Thank
Do you hear that? Founder of Love Panel. He's come to the Love Web. So today you're going to have a wonderful time with us. Now, sir, what's your position in your family?
Okay, I'm the first. I have a step elder brother, but from my mom, I'm the first.
You're the
We're
first.
of three. I have
Okay.
two younger ones.
Wow.
Yeah.
So now, how was it growing up as a first son? Let us know that, please.
Okay, unlike others, for someone like me, I had a very, very good rosy startup as a
Wow.
first child because my mom was, God rest her soul, was someone who wanted the best for us, right?
Good.
So everything we wanted was there. Everything we wanted just came, on the platter of gold until around 2004, 2005
Wow.
when she died, and then that was when we actually felt the reality of of life.
Wow.
And as someone who then, because I went to Federal Government College Rubochi,
Okay.
and I remember going to school then, they'll have to take you to school because she was the principal.
Wow.
They'll have to take you to school, and then we enjoyed this convoy arrangement. But when she was gone and all that, at that point in time, dad also had issues with his job.
Wow.
So a lot of things just fell apart. At that point, I started traveling by myself
Wow.
at age 12.
Wow.
Yes.
That's quite young.
Yes, at age 12, they'll put me in the bus from Ankpa. And
Wow.
then I'll go all the way to Rubochi.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. At that age.
At that age, yes.
Nobody was following you to
And
school
nobody
again.
was following me. So at that point in time, I started taking responsibility for myself. Visiting days you'll be in school, nobody's coming for you.
Oh my. So now you became a man.
Yes, I had to.
As a result of the condition
I'm
and
telling you.
circumstances. It's not
I'm
like you
telling you.
grow
Nah.
into being a man. You
Nah.
just discover this thing is not there.
Yes.
That space is no longer there. So
Yes.
so now being a man, manhood goes with a whole lot of responsibility.
Yes.
And here at 12, you are now becoming independent and have to do things, go to school by yourself,
Yes.
during visiting days, it's no longer the way it used to be.
Yes.
Now, talking about what were the responsibility you carried, because every man, once you said you're a man, definitely there are certain responsibility that goes on. So in your case now, situation and circumstances pushed you there. So what were the responsibility you had to carry, especially after your mom passed?
Okay. I had two younger ones, right? So one of the things I had to bridge that gap, that vacuum that my mom had. Of course, my dad, during that period of his life, he was really, really heartbroken. In fact, for a while, he just stayed away. There was this withdrawal from everything around him, except us, of course. But then we still had, there was still that gap that needed,
That
yes,
void.
that needed to be filled. For my younger sisters, one of the major responsibilities for me was the fact that, thank God they are not lazy, but
Okay.
one of the major responsibility was ensuring that, especially when it comes to their moral life,
Yeah.
it was intact and in check.
Wow. By you now.
Yes, I had to I had to ensure that, okay, because you don't have a mother again and things are hard, you don't have to go out of your way.
Wow.
Yes, I thank God today the one following me is a senior banker now.
Wow.
Our last born, she read history and international studies. She's a certified chef. She can make all manner of,
Wow.
so that alone. And so what that placed on me more was that for me to communicate that effectively to them, I had to become an example.
Wow. So you had two younger
Yes.
ladies.
Yes. Two younger
after
ladies.
you,
Yes.
not a man.
No, not a man.
Oh, and then when your mom died now,
Yes.
you now became the brother,
Yes.
mother.
Yes.
Ah, oh
To
my,
be-
real talk.
Yes.
You hear that? I mean, a 12-year-old becoming a brother, mother,
Yes,
to now nurture
yes.
and nurse his younger one. So how
Yes.
did you do this?
I don't know if you ask me honestly, I can't explain it, but I just knew we're there for each other, and I think that phase of our life is actually what helped us to bond more.
Wow.
Yes, till now. In fact, if you're talking in terms of finance,
Yeah.
my younger sister, the one following me, she has more than me, but
Wow.
till now she still respects me. In fact, when she wants to take major decisions, she'll call me and say, bro, this is what I want to do. What do you think about it?
Wow.
You know, so it helped us bond so much that right now they could just call me and say, where are you? And I'm saying I'm at home, and they'll tell me, okay, dress up. We want to come and pick you. Are coming to stay in our place for so number of days.
Wow.
You know, so if I'm to explain how I was able to do that, I just knew that, okay, now at this point in time, I needed to be there for them. One of the things I was very, very scared of is growing up or becoming much more wiser to discover that they are now wayward.
Wow.
So that fear, you know, so I was just around them.
Now you said something. You said that you wanted to make sure that their moral life is intact.
Yes.
And you didn't want a situation whereby because of lack and need they now had to go and meet a man
Yes.
to get it for them.
Yes.
So now how were you getting finances to support them?
Okay, honestly, I was not getting finances to support
Okay.
them. At that point in time, the one who was following me, in fact, even at that young age, I did not really play a major role until when we got into the university.
Yeah.
All right. So at the university level, of course, Dad was still doing his best.
Okay.
But then one of the things that we had to emphasize on was on the fact that, okay, we all needed to pay attention to our skills.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
The one following me, she's very, very good with business. In fact, she moved into Abuja before me.
Wow.
So even
wow.
when she was in Abuja, of course, when she was making that move, everybody frowned at it.
You're
Illegal,
going
and they
to-
were saying,
you're going to be
Abuja."
spoiled.
Yes, you're going to be spoiled. You know, from
Ubelo.
yes, Ubelo, you know, from washing at car stands to selling fish.
Wow.
And now she's a senior banker in one of the corporate banks now. Yeah, so you know, but my own at some point was there were times that I was still doing the little I could.
To just
So
support
yes,
them.
to just support them. At that time I was in Makodi, and so there are times that I could just have money, little money, and if they ask me, there are times they just ask me, you know, I need this, and I'll just send it, even though it was small. There was this peace and happiness I was feeling that, okay, I was able to provide
For them.
and then times that I couldn't, of course, come through for them.
Yes.
Okay, let's trust God to see, but somehow God just came through.
Wow.
Somehow
He just
around
kept
it. Yes,
providing.
yes, God just kept providing.
Wow, do you hear that? Now, there's this controversy where people believe that being a first child automatically comes with a responsibility. At a certain point, sorry, your mom is late now. For those who have their mother's life, believe that at a certain point, you must take care of your mother. You must take care of your siblings.
Yes.
You must have to do something. Even if you're married, you should impute them in your own lifestyle and family. And some are feeling like, no, it shouldn't be so. Now, the question is, just your responsibility came as a result of you losing your mom and things not being well with your father at the same time. So it's not what you were born with.
Yes.
It's not like it is generic. And I want you to help me talk to the audience and let them know that responsibility as a firstborn. So is it actually truly generic, or is it that you just grow into it, or as a result of value, philosophy? So why do firstborn carry so much responsibility at times, and why do people believe it must be so?
Yes. Okay. It took me time before I came to realize that being a firstborn is not just about you being the first child, but I came to realize that being a firstborn is a call. And that is, if you're a first child, you're more like a pastor of the entire house, not just an entire house, but an entire lineage, an entire bloodline.
Wow.
So what you do as a firstborn may alter
The family,
the trajectory, yes,
Okay.
of a particular bloodline.
Wow.
Now, when we go to the Bible, you see Reuben.
Yeah.
When the father was blessing them,
Yes.
he said, "You are my firstborn, the excellence of my strength." But
yeah.
as unstable
Stable
as water.
Yeah.
Why? Because of
That thing he
action.
did.
Yes, that thing he did. So it took me time to realize that a firstborn, that position, it's a call, not just what you, of course you are privileged to come in, but the moment you come, you have to realize that it's a responsibility that you just have to wear. Now, not just the fact that you have to wear it. Most times what people don't understand is that they feel being a firstborn stops at just you overseeing the affairs of the house if your father is not around, your sisters, in my own case. But I got to understand that being a firstborn goes beyond that. That is to say that you are not just overseeing the affairs of their own life, but also their children.
Wow.
Yes. Yes, they
like you're molding them to become better.
Yes, you're molding them to become better. So even if they get married, you still have a responsibility to ensure that, yes, I understand you're married now, but even your children will share the same. Yes, they are mine too. So I'm not just overseeing their life, I'm overseeing, everything that has to do with them. The responsibility of a first child is even more spiritual than physical.
Wow.
Yes, and that is why you will discover, and you agree with me, that when you check it, both scriptures and in reality, you discover that firstborn children have major battles.
Okay.
They face all manner of battles.
So why is that so?
Yeah, I feel that's because most times the way God designed it,
there's a lot that comes.
Yes, there's a lot
with
that comes.
That position.
Yes, and as a first child, I believe the way God designed it is the first child, the womb opener, is supposed to be more like a deliverer
to the family. And
so what happens is the devil tries as much as possible to contaminate that deliverer. Yeah. So in cases, and there are cases where such contamination happens, and the first son or the firstborn loses his or her position. Most times, by way of God's mercy, what God will now do is to lift that call and responsibility. Look for another willing vessel within that family
to now carry on
and carry on. So you look at someone like Esau and Jacob. You look at Ephraim and Manasseh. There was a switch in their position. So the responsibility that comes with it is not your choice. It's not something you've chosen to do. But when you come into it fully,
you
have
now
to
see yourself in it,
and
then you begin to what about the people who are not non-Christian, one, and then two, do not realize that the firstborn is is space where you come to actually assume play a role, like a deliverer to the family, be a pace setter, and all those things. Now, people who do not have the knowledge you have and do not grow up in a Christian background like you, how would they manage that?
Especially when you have situations where I know situations where firstborns in the house, they are more like lastborns. Siblings talk to them anyhow. And that is where the place of leadership comes in. If you ever come across anyone who is
a
first child and successful at what they do in terms of how they coordinate the affairs of their house, you would agree with me that most of them turn out to be good leaders. So the place of being a first child is a place of leadership.
Good.
So if you cannot lead your siblings, you cannot lead your wife.
Wow.
Yes, I was telling my sisters the other time. I said I used to use them to rehearse how I'll treat. Yes, I'm going to treat my wife. So if you cannot lead your siblings, how can you lead somebody else that is coming to become a part of your life? So they must understand that being a firstborn is a call to leadership. Yes, a call to leadership.
Wow, this is another aspect. This is another twist to it. To the ladies, the other time we had the conversation. To them, the firstborn is a call to responsibility, and now here is the guy telling us that to him, the firstborn is a call to leadership.
I believe personally that it's not just a human ideology. Yes, it's something that is divine right from time. If you even look at the Bible in the Old Testament, you discover that firstborns are dedicated. The man of dedication unto God and all that. The tax is the same. The only thing that I see is a difference there is just the fact that one is in a woman's body, one is wearing a man's body, but the tax still remains the same. And if you take your time, you'd observe that firstborn daughters, most of the time, they end up getting married late. Not because they don't want to get married, but because most of the time they want to come to a point where the ones coming behind them are self-sufficient.
Okay.
Yes, because most times these people get married, and of course
Yes.
they are starting a family.
Exactly.
They become very busy with their lives, and it becomes very and almost impossible for them to start reaching out to
Yes.
their younger ones. So they most times they take the major sacrifices that ordinarily no other person would do for them, so that everybody can be fine.
Okay, talking about sacrifices now, what were the negative, side of this, and then what were the major sacrifices you had to make as a man, and a male first son? What were the sacrifices you had to make for the family, and then what were the negative effects some of them may have, on our lives?
Talking about sacrifices, even till now you're still making sacrifices, but I'll just talk about a major one.
Okay.
One of the major sacrifices I've had to make because of my siblings was having not to go to law school when I was supposed to go.
Wow.
Yes, because if I had gone to law school when I went, they wouldn't have been able to pay their school fees.
So they would have dropped out.
They would have dropped.
Wow.
Yes, so I had to go. That led me to go and serve in Makurdi.
Wow.
For 1 year. So my mates originally are my 1 year senior.
Wow.
At the bar. And then talking about the negative effect, one thing about being a firstborn is, as a firstborn, one thing you must learn, cultivate as part of your life is ability to handle information.
Okay.
You are a dumping ground.
Wow.
Yes.
Every first child keeps saying this.
Yes, you're a dumping ground. Ability to manage your emotions. So,
wow.
Yes. Okay. Let me say this, because as a firstborn, you're a dumping ground. There are times that people dump things on you, and you become very heavy.
Wow.
That's one of the reasons why I stopped handling divorce cases.
Wow.
Yes, because at some point it wanted to start tampering my mind about how I see marriages. So a point came, I had to go. In fact, the post went viral on social media.
Wow.
Blogs carried it that lawyer said he's no longer doing
divorce
cases again. So as a first child, there are so many things that you have to swallow. You have to manage information. For example, there was a time my dad called me and he told me he was having a particular health challenge they diagnosed him of. I knew that if I had put that out, it would cause a whole lot of panic. So I had to manage that information.
Wow.
Even though I did not tell them exactly what was happening, but I just found a way to communicate to them that, okay, daddy's sick, we just have to put money together. Okay, you people find try and see. Now, do you know a time came, because I was the one always looking out for others and all that. The weight pulled me in. Let me even tell you.
Wow.
This is about 3 weeks ago, for like no about 3 weeks. For like 3 weeks, I'm talking about last month into this month.
Wow.
I was depressed.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, depressed and almost suicidal.
Oh my God, did you hear that?
This is my first public.
Did you hear that? This is a Christian born again lawyer
this is my first
talking.
public.
Wow.
So whatever pictures I've been posting online are not recent.
So you can see.
Whatever
You not even
write
know.
up I've been doing on WhatsApp, I'm not recent.
Can you hear
Especially
that?
my Facebook, I schedule my posts. So
Wow.
for every month, I schedule posts that will run. So even when I'm not
Then
online,
it's still going.
but people felt I was
That
doing
all is
fine.
well.
Now, my family were not aware.
Wow.
My church, they thought I traveled. My fiance,
Wow.
even though I talked to her every day, she didn't know.
Wow.
Because I was trying to ensure in my bid to ensure that nobody panics, everybody's trying to.
Yeah.
I was dying.
Oh my.
In fact, when day before yesterday, when I finally told my fiance, because she was like, these days when I call you, you're just withdrawn. If I'm listening more, if she's talking to me, I listen more. I didn't want to. And she'll be like, what is going on? Ladies will start assuming, of course it's natural. Is it that you're tired of me? So later I now called her. We went, did an outing, and I sat her down and said, this was what is happening.
Me going through this.
And she became very angry. Like, how can you be going through this? And you didn't tell
carrying
me.
it alone.
Then what is my space in your life? And all that. So it will bring you to a point where you make tough
decisions.
Tough decisions. People will see you, they think, I know how many times I've left therapy.
Wow.
To go and do ministrations.
Can you hear that?
I will lead worship. People.
Church brothers, please. I need you here. Come together.
I will lead worship.
Wow.
And powerful. And people will just we were blessed by this worship and all that. But I know where I'm. What
Wow.
was going on with me?
Wow.
Nobody knew. My dad, nobody was. The only person who knew what was
my.
going on with me was just God.
Oh my.
Why? Because you're trying to just be that.
That's strong.
Yeah,
Oh.
you just have to be that strong.
That saves place
Now,
for everybody.
Yes. Now
Oh.
there are times where I'll be like, okay, let me not keep this thing. Let me just talk with my younger sister.
Wow.
And then you pick the phone and you call them. Alpha, Amele, how are you people doing?
And
then
they're telling you.
from that side, they are
Oh,
telling you.
I know they are trying.
So you have to just stay strong for them.
Oh,
And so
wow.
because of that, it will pull you. But I just had to start, of course, as my fiance will tell me. My fiance will say, see, the truth is, if you die, life will move on.
I'm telling you,
The people you
everybody
want to,
move.
yes.
Yes.
Even Jesus Christ that died for everybody. Some people are still moving on with their life. You know,
I'm telling you, yes.
on the fact that he died. So the effect of it is much more
Exactly.
on the firstborn. Everybody just feels we don't know how you're going to do it. You
But
just have to do it.
Oh, that is wow, did you hear that? I'm so happy. Thank you for being real. I mean, this is the best. This is the key to me. You know, this is all about being real and being free for others to be able to, you know, get healed and also stand. You get, you know, you don't just judge people.
Yeah.
I'm so happy that we're having this conversation. It's coming from another different angle entirely. You know, if you're a firstborn and you are out there, don't go die. Talk to somebody. Don't just allow the weight of the family trouble to just be so much and heavy on you. You should always have a place to pour. Because if you keep numbing it and it gets to a point where you can't, the next person around you becomes a victim. Imagine what he just said. You know, this is somebody who is in a relationship now. He just mentioned his fiancé, who had nothing, no idea. And here they are burdens, there are negative side to this thing. But thank God for Christ. And I'm so happy that he's found Christ. And that also brings me to the church. Please, pastors, help us. Oh, help us. Did you hear what he said? It's not everybody jumping on that space that is mentally healthy. Sometimes I'm a pastor and I know how this thing, you are bleeding inside.
Yes.
They said you should come out and be dancing and jumping. And because you want that validation, you don't want them to lose, you know, confidence in God and trust in God. And then sometimes, you know, church members, you push us to that point where we now have to become, you know, perform for you instead of becoming who God really wants us to be. It is a whole lot to be a first child. And it is a whole lot to be a first child and a first son. Now, we're about to round off now. And before we get you to talk to our audience, you know, you just said something that you have a fiancé. Now, you're coming from a family and you're a first son.
Yes.
And, you know, you in fact, the one funny thing is that you're a father before you become a father.
Yes.
Because you have a son now from your a nephew who is like a son to you.
Yes.
Now, how are you going to transit from this family into building your own without, you know, creating a crack, and then without creating a boundary down now say, oh, she has come. Meanwhile, this used to be our safe space. Now she has come. So how are you going to balance this?
Okay. About building, I don't think I even need to transit again. I transited already.
Wow.
In the sense that currently, I don't know between me and my siblings and
Yes.
between her and my siblings.
Yes.
I don't know who is more closer to my siblings.
Wow.
Yeah, in fact, they have their
That's good.
WhatsApp platform.
Oh, that's good.
My fiance sister, my sister, they have their own WhatsApp platform.
Oh,
that
where they do
talk.
their little girl
Yes.
gossip. That's a
You
good
understand?
one. You hear that?
Like this morning, I'm coming straight from my younger sister's house.
Wow.
I was just lying down. My younger sister tapped me, and I woke up and said, your baby's on the line. Wants to with her own phone.
Wow.
That was as early as 6, 7.
Oh,
and
wow.
I'm like, Alpha, now she not fit call me. Say why she go call you?
Where she knows say that's good.
You know, so the rapport is there.
Yeah.
Her birthday is coming up shortly, and yesterday my younger sister was asking me when is her birthday again. I told her, I said, we need to do something special. So I believe that we don't really have to step into marriage before you start the process of transition.
Yes.
They should be able to get used to themselves. There should be that synergy from now.
Wow.
You know, yes, I told my sisters, I said I want to raise a family such that if God forbid tomorrow I'm no more,
There's a legacy.
my children will not even miss me.
Wow.
Why? Because their aunties are there
Wow.
to fill up the space. That
Oh,
connection is there. And same thing with my family.
Wow.
In fact, my family asks more about her than they ask more
More
about,
about
me
you. Wow,
because
that's
of
a good
how,
one.
yes, because
You
of
bridged
how,
the gap
yes,
already.
we bridged the gap already.
That's a good
They
one.
call her directly to ask about her and all that. So
Wow.
sometimes I'll just see, and then she will be the one giving me feedback that
Wow.
your dad, I called your dad though. She said this one, why didn't you? And I'm like, how did you know I've not called my dad for?
Wow.
See, yes, your dad called me that you've not.
Wow,
So that's how,
wow,
yes, that's
wow.
how.
Oh my. Ha, you
That's
hear
how.
that? This is a good one. So please, young ladies, don't be afraid to get married or get engaged to first child. It's not all first child, that are like that,
Yes.
in quotes. So please, and don't be afraid.
Yes.
If you want to get married and this person is so much, have the united family, growing together, so much love, don't be so afraid that if I go get married to him, these people are going to be feeling insecure,
Yeah.
and then you now bring trouble where there is no trouble. You don't need to do that. There are
Yes.
some that really, really know how to balance it, and that's why it's very important for you to really, really know who you want to get married to and know that you are compatible.
Yes.
Now, on a final note, you said something about depression. Now, you're a wonderful lawyer. I mean, just like you said, anybody who sees you on social media will like, oh man, this lawyer is... And then to add more icing to the cake, you are born again. And then to even make it more, you are a music minister. I mean, I've seen, I heard you
Yes.
minister, and I've seen people really literally falling in worship to God and all those stuff. And you're doing well. Now, what could make such a man get depressed?
Yes, actually.
You understand? That's the first question that will come to mind. There's nothing, because where you are is where millions are really looking up to being. I'm just telling you this now. I've seen you on Facebook. I have watched some of your posts, and I'm like, look, this guy is very intelligent, And we got talking. Somebody we got talking to, and I just said, wait, come and see this guy. You know what? He's an Igala guy, and he's from my place. Igalas, they are there. So I was not bragging with you. And the first thing became like, Jesus, how did he do it? So there are people like, how can I meet him? How can I become him? And here are you talking about, struggles. So I just want you to give us just like a general brushing on things that could possibly make a young man get depressed.
Okay, just like you were saying earlier. One of the reasons, let me start from this angle. One of the reasons why we have many depressed people in church that cannot speak out is because nobody wants to be seen as a liability.
Wow.
Yes, there are times that I may want to approach you, and the reason why I'm approaching you is for help, but we live in a generation where the moment somebody asks for your audience, we translate it to this person is coming for money.
So
me, right from time, one thing I do not like is pity party. For people to see me and pity me, I don't like. I'm proud. I accept when it comes to that.
Wow.
So I can be in the same house taking drip.
Wow.
Yes, I'll go take drip, come back. I'm okay. Nobody will know what I'm going through.
Wow.
Even though I know that's not really good.
It's not.
Okay, for me, what actually caused that was because I think to an extent, ambition to be ambitious is good. But when you become too strict, for example, there are months where I just tell myself I need to close this so number of deals with clients as a property lawyer, and when that doesn't happen, I feel bad. I feel terrible. Also, okay, for my own, I sat down one day and I started thinking, right, I have friends that I came into Abuja with. This is my 4th year in Abuja.
Wow.
And I came into Abuja with, and they started doing well. And these people, when you look at them, you will know that, okay, when you look at them, you know that these people are not even as godly
as you know. They are not spiritual. They are not the church.
So there are things I just sat down.
I know
God,
that, right?
What is it that I'm doing wrong? What is it that
not
I'm
working?
not? Yes, I don't want to do the things other
they
people
are doing.
Yes,
Wow.
That one aside. On the other side again, I'm here thinking my dad is almost 70, and I'm like, God, there is a level of life I want him to experience
before he
goes. I don't know at this age now. In fact, I believe that if he still here, because God still loaned him.
Yes.
At this point,
exactly.
they can just move.
Yes.
So and I'm thinking, God, does it mean that this
you're not going to give him that thing? I know.
So all those thoughts begin to come in before you become very heavy. And the mistake I did was in the midst of that, instead of talking it out with my best friend, which is my fiance.
Yeah.
I was trying to protect her mind because I didn't want anything that would make her come to a point that she's a woman.
Of course.
So instead of communicating it with someone maybe much higher that could, I started withdrawing. I went into isolation.
Wow.
And it was in that isolation. I didn't go to church for like 3 weeks.
You hear
and
that?
when I mean go to church for like 3 weeks, when in fact my MD will call me and I'll tell my MD I travel. But I was in my house.
In your house.
You know, I'll just connect online and just I was just
you just shut down.
Shut away from everyone.
Everything.
Yeah. So I think I allowed the weight of
whatever is happening around you.
Responsibilities, targets that I needed to meet, expectation.
Yeah.
There are times people just see you and they feel, oh, this guy is a lawyer. Sometimes people come to my DM and they're asking me, yes, sir, please, can you help me 2 million naira? And I'm like, God almighty. What makes you think I have such money? You know, so it's another thing entirely.
Wow. Thank you so much. Wow. This is actually some of the stories that baited real talk, where you have to be sincere and tell yourself the truth. Being a pastor's wife, I can relate. I've been there. When there's so much, you are overloaded and overwhelmed, and you don't even know where to drop it because there's no safe place around. At the end, if you're not careful, it becomes a trigger for Satan to pass through. But then, come to that point, don't overwork yourself. Like I keep saying, when you get there, just say, you see at this point, baby girl, Mr. Man, drop it, just rest. You are not in competition with anybody. Being a first child is not a curse. It's not a stigma. And at the same time, it is not a duty. Like I keep saying, before you became, the man and his wife have their life. So why do you want to even carry somebody's wife and start marrying for him? Why do you want to carry somebody's husband and start marrying for him? Some of you, because you're firstborn, you know, a lot of friction, between you. My father is more closer to me than my mother. My mother is more closer. You know, there's a lot of generational value, transgenerational value that's been passed on. And if you cannot handle it well, this is where we open the door for Satan, if you don't know how to manage it well. Well, one last word. There are many firstborn who are listening to you now, and there are so many ladies who, you know, are afraid of getting married to firstborn because they don't want to wahala. They don't want to come and inherit a problem and its responsibility that they know nothing about. So I want you to talk to the lady listening to who is afraid of getting married to firstborn, and also the firstborn who is a man like you who is listening to us.
Okay, first thing I'll say first is, dear sister, you need to understand that there's no crime and there's nothing wrong in getting married to a firstborn. However, you must also be prepared to know that getting married to a firstborn comes with responsibility. By getting married to a firstborn, you automatically become a mother in that lineage. So you must prepare yourself for the responsibility. What that means is, if as a lady you're getting married to a man who is a firstborn, you become the mother of all the females in that lineage. So you have to set good precedents for them. You have to become indeed a mother, not one who will cause division, but your presence will be one that will unite people together. And then finally, if you ask God for anything, he would always give to you. Fear, Job said, what I fear finally came upon me. Fear is a magnet. Whatever you fear comes close to you. Whatever you fear conquers you. So kill that fear. Be honest in your work. Tell God what you want, and he will give to you.
Wow, thank you very much, Pastor ACHONU. We are so excited to have you here, and we really look forward to having more of you in the studio. Well, this is Real Talk, and we're able to make it real with you today. I hope it makes sense. Thank you, and see you some other time.
PJT Real Talk with PJT, Pastor Jackie Talena.